In this episode, I tell you everything wrong with our Type R potentially slaying Volvo C30. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to Shifting Lanes. I'm Chad. That is our project Volvo C30 hot hatchback that we're aiming to take down the Civic Type R. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see at the end of the video, consider subscribing. Before we dive too deep into everything, guys, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsor. Once again, that is FCP Euro. If you're unfamiliar with them, I'll put a link down in the description below. Basically, they're a one-stop shop for all European car parts. BMW, Jaguar, Audi, Mercedes, Volvo. They have an enormous selection of parts, and the best part about them is they offer a lifetime warranty, lifetime replacement on all wear items, including motor oil. So brake pads, clutches, things like that. If they wear out, just send them back. FCP will replace them for you. Best part, they're free. So you can get, as long as you own this car, or as long as you own the car in question that the brakes or whatever are on, FCP will replace them at no additional cost to you. Question is, why aren't you shopping at FCP Euro? Today, I'm just going to walk you around. The car's actually in halfway decent shape, but she's far from perfect. So I'm going to walk you around, show you everything I've found that's wrong with the car, show you everything that we were able to find, and even I had a specialist take a look at her and everything they found. So let's get to it. So there's our C30, 2008 for those of you who don't know or have forgotten. Most of what's wrong with her is cosmetic. You see a lot of little tiny dents on the hood here, one here, there's another one in here somewhere. You see it along the sides here. Like you got one here. There's also some denting up here, a couple of them. And probably more proof that this thing has had a front impact is our cracked bumper, which is right there. Biggest cosmetic thing with this car, and I don't know if it's going to come out in camera, but this car had a front right impact. So somewhere along its life, this section of the car was hit. And how I can tell, and how a lot of you pointed it out and figured it out all on your own, kudos to you guys, is if you look here, the quarter panel, front bumper are different colors than, say, the door and the hood. Has me a little bit concerned. Like I said, there is a vibration coming from the right front of the car, which I actually took it to a specialist to get looked at, and that's the axles. Both of them are not in dire need, but definitely need to be replaced sooner rather than later. While we're at the front, anybody know a good line on a tow bar mounted license plate holder? Hit me up in the comments below. Much obliged. But she's in a lot better shape than the M3 was, I'll tell you that much. Those of you who remember that car was an absolute disaster. One of my biggest complaints with this car is not necessarily the wheels. They are beat up. They are in not so great condition. They could probably be refurbished, refinished, whatever. They're not going to be my everyday wheels when I'm done with this car, so I'm really not overly concerned with that. Is these Achilles wheels, or I'm sorry, tires. They get the job done for daily commuting, but I can just feel they provide almost no grip. And when I say no grip, I mean if you're driving with any sort of like performance in mind on wet roads, they slip pretty easily. I mean, I know this car puts a lot of torque out early, but the Achilles tires, if you're looking for a get-me-to-work tire, they're okay. If you're looking to have any sort of fun, I'd go with a different tire. Around back, pretty much everything's okay. There's nothing really to report here. Sure, the exhaust tips are a little dirty, but again, that's something that's not really going to last too much longer on this car. Trunk, apart from missing, I guess there's a cover that's supposed to attach here and here. That's missing, but I don't really use those anyway. We don't, Let's get in here. We have our spare, we have our jack. Everything's as it should be. So that's good. It's a space saver, but again, small small packaging to make this thing work. Again, we come around the other side. Oh, there was one thing on the right rear here that I forgot about. That's these plastic bits. If you remember in my last video, I was kind of curious as to why. You can see right in here, someone was a little aggressive removing this, and it's cracked and a little bit damaged, but like you literally have to be looking at it from this angle, so I'm not crazy concerned about it. Again, down the side, a little bit more of the same. We have a little tiny dent, scratch, ding right there, but the driver's side is actually in pretty much better condition than the passenger side. We do have a little scuff mark here. Inside, the interior is really nice for what this car is. It's not supposed to be the last word in luxury, nor did I want it to be. That is really loose. I know a lot of you said torque mounts, rear torque mounts, but the throw on that shifter is longer than it is in my Lexus, which was way longer than what it was in my M3. So it took a lot of getting used to. Anybody knows a good short throw kit? Hit me up in the comments. I'd appreciate it. But the only real problem in here is you have a tear here, and it looks like there was another tear right here that was repaired. But that's pretty much it. Back seats, more of the good stuff there. I really like this center console. If you can kind of see, it's kind of floating. It's kind of modern in a early 2000s kind of way. I actually do really like it, that everything's simple and easy and thoughtfully laid out, which you'd expect for a Volvo. So now we're going to look at the beating heart of this monster. If I can find the latch. There it is. Just a reminder, we have a transversely mounted 2.5 liter 5-cylinder turbocharged engine, chucking out 227 horsepower, about the same in torque. Only thing, again, really to report in here is down in there somewhere is a bad axle, and down in there is a bad axle. You also have an engine mount here, and somewhere over here. A lot of you have suggested replacing those. We'll take a look, see how bad they are. Down here, you have exhaust and turbo things. Wastegate right there. Only problem with this engine mechanically is the turbo control valve. That's on its way out. I've already procured one from Elevate, who we're going to be doing a lot of partnering with on this build, so stay tuned for more parts from them. Good, clean engine bay. It's a really good place. You don't really see too many bad signs. Like I said, it was hit in the front here, in the right front, and you don't really see a lot of the big telltale signs that, you know, it was a horrible job doing repairs. It just looked like someone didn't quite get their color codes right, or didn't have the ability to match colors. Because obviously, paints fades over time, so even though this might be the correct factory color, this has spent more time outside, so the paint color has actually faded a little bit. That's why typically body shops blend, but whoever did this decided blending was not necessary. Again, not something I'm overly concerned about. But as far as plans for this engine bay, in the short term, that intake is going, this intake manifold is going, obviously the air box is going to be gone. Again, the TCV valve, which lives somewhere down there, will eventually live up in there somewhere. The intercooler will be a front mount. Again, we're going to do an upper and lower intake manifold as well. That should, without even touching the stock turbo, well, I mean, without replacing the stock turbo, we should be able to get close to 300, if not a little bit more, at the crank. We are definitely going to be dynoing this car stock. That video should be coming out relatively soon once I do the TCV, do a tune-up, so coils, spark plugs, oil change. We're going to take a look. I was told the water pump and timing belt or chain, I think, on these cars was replaced relatively recently. We're going to check the status of those and replace if necessary. Correct me if I'm wrong over there. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've been looking at so many different cars. Forget if it's a chain or a belt. Either way, we'll check, make sure everything's good to go there. And that's it. She's in a lot better shape than I thought she would. Well, a lot better shape than the M3, which had me nervous for any new car that I purchased because that thing was such a buzzkill when I finally got it, and the interior was crap, and it was leaking oil, and the thing was such a buzzkill, but this thing is in so much better shape than that car. It's such a relief. Like I said, we got the axles to replace. We got a couple other odds and ends. Bear with us. We're going to have some first fixes. Hopefully, once I can figure out parts, partnering with a few people on this build. So getting parts here as fast as I would like them isn't going as I had originally planned. But if these partnerships come through, it means more awesome stuff stuffed into that engine bay, suspension, wheels, brakes, tires. So please just bear with me there. Stick with me. The next few videos, the next one is probably going to be a full-on review of this car, part of our Good, Bad, Ugly series, as you can see what we do with brand new vehicles. We're going to do something with that. Video after that, I'm hoping to get into first fixes, so then the video after that, I can take it straight to the dyno and see what she's doing with just stock parts. Know where we start, how much power she's lost over the years. I'm really hoping she pulls a dyno number just like our VR did, because that thing's still running as strong as ever. Just stick with me, guys. I promise you, I'm going to get into the go fast bits. I'm going to get this thing north of 300 horsepower pretty quickly once I have the parts, so please just bear with me. This thing's going to be an absolute riot. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Every subscriber helps. Every like helps, all that stuff. If you like Shifting Lanes, want to support us, want to help us out with these builds, and get yourself some sweet swag, our Teespring account is now linked directly below this video. We'll also put one in the description. Get some sweet swag. We have the Shifting Lanes shirts. We have the DadWagon shirts. I am still working on some C30 shirts. Hopefully have those done within the next week or so then you can start repping this bad boy. As always, you can find us on social media at Shifting Lanes. You can find me on social media at Chennedy83, Instagram, Twitter. A lot of you guys have started following me already. That's fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Stick with me. We're going to be working on her real soon. We're going to make her go faster. I can't talk worth a shit tonight. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to be making her go faster very soon. I can't wait. I will catch you next time.